Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the opening press conference for the Churchill Cup. This really is the start of 3 special weeks where we will see North America's premier 15-a-side rugby tournament take place here at Infinity Park, Glendale, and then at Dick's Sporting Goods. Apologies for not being at pitch level, and I hope you get acclimatized to the altitude up here at the plaza. We've got information packs which will tell you about the tournament at the back, and we can advise on accreditation for media wanting to come at the weekend and subsequent game days. In terms of how this is going to run, I'll just do some brief introductions. We'll have a few comments, and then I'll ask the teams a few questions before going into one-on-one interviews afterwards. Firstly, the guys for whom this tournament is really about, the players and the coaches. And we have 4 teams here today: Argentina Pumas, Canada, England Saxons, and Georgia. And thanks, guys, for coming. I know some of you have rearranged your training schedules to be here today, so that's greatly appreciated. We'll be asking you guys a few questions later, but I want to introduce you to some people first. We've got Kevin Lynch, who's the British Consul General. Kevin, we hope that amid the Broncos and the Nuggets and the Avalanche and the Rapidos, that you'll find some home comfort with England Saxons.
Let's go around.
Denver Sports Commission have been instrumental in bringing this event to Denver. And Steve McConaughey, as the board chairman, please accept this ball on behalf of the Churchill Cup.
Thank you very much.
Steve. It's not often we get 3 mayors together in one place, and these guys deserve a special mention. Mayor Larry Hart of the city of Glendale, thank you for welcoming us to your great city, and we hope you can find a place on your mantelpiece for that. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods Park yesterday, and from a Churchill Cup point of view, we hope that it really is a build it and they will come venue on June the 21st. Mayor Paul Natel, thank you also for your support.
Well, thank you.
Now, it seems a long time ago, but I first met this guy probably a week ago, and I was immediately impressed with how passionate he was about rugby, and in particular this fantastic venue where Canada are training behind us. This is the first rugby-dedicated stadium in America, and it's down partly to the vision of this man, the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Glendale, Mike Donovan. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you all, and welcome to Glendale, Colorado. And our view of the Field of Dreams was build it and they will succumb. Eventually, this great game has to take over America. 115 nations play this game. There's no reason in the world we can't take part in it at a much higher level than we are now. In my town, Glendale, Colorado, we speak 13 different languages. Rugby speaks every one of those languages. Not only does it speak the language of life, it speaks the language of a culture of sport that can renew our dedication to youth in this country and to the development of a culture that brings about cooperation worldwide. There is no better sport in the world to do that. We began doing this 10 years ago with a vision. The mayor, the city council, and the businesses came together and said, how do we create opportunity for youth, business, citizens, recreation, and the greater Denver metro area? So now we have begun to call Denver a suburb of Glendale. We're going to hear that again. I welcome you all very much. This is the beginning of something in North America. The governor of our state, Bill Ritter, proclaimed Glendale the rugby capital of Colorado. We would like to welcome each and every one of you to a new beginning in the sport in North America with an opportunity to create something that we have not seen in our great country before. With that, we have a bit of a rugby tradition, and I would like to get this on film. I would like to thank the RFU and Francis Barron for the Churchill Cup. Gentlemen, one cheer. Hip, hip.
Hooray.
That was lame, wasn't it? Shall we try that again, gentlemen? Hip, hip.
Hooray.
Much better. Thank you very much. And at this point, it is my pleasure to introduce an old friend, an ex-captain of England, and now running the ship at the United States Rugby Union, Mr. Nigel Melville.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of USA Rugby, I'd like to welcome you
to the 2009 Churchill Cup. 6 international teams, 180 world-class players, 9 international games over 16 days, and 2 fantastic stadia. And I can assure you, sports-mad Denver people desperate to see some rugby in the next few months. What I'd like to do, first of all, is to thank the people who made this possible. Obviously, Mike Donovan and the City of Glendale, the Denver Sports Commission, and all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't have happened. To get the Churchill Cup to come to one venue and give us the opportunity to fulfill our mission, which is to inspire America to fall in love with rugby. Let me tell you a little bit about USA Rugby. We currently have 85,000 members across the USA. We have a growing youth market where we've actually introduced a thing called rookie rugby, which is not youth as they used to know in the US, which was high school players. This is the 6 to 10-year-olds, to 12-year-olds, to 13-year-olds, kids who can get hold of a ball and run with it in a non-contact, friendly, and fantastic environment. So rookie rugby is inspiring a lot of youngsters to play the game, which is building our high school programs, our college programs, and ultimately our club programs. And hopefully, as a result, our Eagles will become stronger. So I'd like to welcome everybody here. It's fantastic to have you all in town. I'd like to wish every team every success, and may the best team win. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Okay, now a couple of questions to the teams. We'll start with England. Stuart Lancaster is the head coach. Stuart, welcome to Denver. Stuart, England are the holders of this fantastic trophy. I'm not going to ask you the question we've been asked all week, when is a cup not a cup? But how important is it for England as holders to go home with this as extra baggage on June the 22nd?
Yeah, I think from our point of view, it's a great opportunity for us to come and try and retain the trophy. But we recognise that what's happened in the past is history, and what we've got to do now is concentrate on the here and now. We've got a first opportunity to play this weekend against Argentina. We fully respect them and the threat that they'll pose. So we're obviously very pleased with being the holders of the trophy, but for us, like I say, we've got to earn the right to win it again, and that starts this weekend.
Thank you, Stuart. We've got another Stuart, Stuart Hooper, who's the captain of England Saxons. Stuart, I think this is your first Churchill Cup. I know you and the guys are used to this kind of mix and match weather, but perhaps not the altitude. How are you finding the first couple of days?
Yeah, I'll be pleased to say it's been okay. I was a bit worried on the plane when the air hostess said to me, by the time you've climbed the steps into the airport, you'll be absolutely blowing. I'm pleased to say I wasn't, and yeah, it's gone okay, and just looking forward to the game now.
Great stuff, thank you. And your opponents on Saturday, Argentina, Jaguars, and we have their coach, Jose Arengo, and captain, Agustin Creevy. Jose, you coached the team at last year's Churchill Cup. How important is this tournament for your players?
For us, it's very important, this Churchill Cup. We are having a lot of new players, having an international experience. So we have a very big challenge this weekend against England. And we hope that this time we have better games than last year, because we have a better preparation. So I think that we're going to make a good match.
Thank you, sir. Augustin, you're facing England Saxons on Saturday. How big a test is it for you and your teammates?
Creo que para nosotros es un partido muy importante, no solo por ser el primero, sino por ser contra los England Saxons, que son los últimos campeones y son un gran equipo.
It's first of all, it's very important because it's the first game of the tournament, and not only that, but they're playing the England Saxons, which they respect enormously.
Nos estamos preparando mucho para el partido del sábado y creo que va a ser un lindo espectáculo para ver.
They've been preparing quite a bit for this weekend, and it's going to be a great game to watch.
Thank you, Augustin. Georgia, they're newcomers to the Churchill Cup, ranked 13th in the world. And I understand, or I'm told, that rugby ranks alongside wrestling and judo as a #2 sport in Georgia. I'm delighted to welcome their president, George Nijaradze, and their team manager, Vasil Abishadze. George, how important is the Churchill Cup for the development of rugby in Georgia?
Hi, everybody. Of course, it's very important. It's a big honor for us to participate in such tournament like Churchill Cup. That's what we were asking IRB always. and many thanks to IRB and Churchill Cup's organizational committee. It's a very good opportunity for us to play against such a good teams. Unfortunately, we are very far from our top squad. As always, we have problems with the French clubs. 16, 18 players are out. But we have a lot of young guys, and it's a great chance for them to show what they can. So, we are here to enjoy rugby and play against very good teams.
Thank you, George. Vasil, the team is used to playing Russia and Germany and Spain and Portugal. Now you're going to be playing Canada in a ranking test match and then Ireland next week. So Vasil, from a team point of view, it's very exciting. George, you want to answer?
I will translate.
Fine.
Okay? Yeah, it's let's say continuation of the first part of your question, because during the years we are playing against the same teams always, and it's a great opportunity for us to play against Canada and Ireland, and in case of the development of the project, it's a very, very important, of course.
Thank you. And finally, but not least, Canada, who are, as I said, training behind us, and their team manager Des Lynch and Jeb Sinclair. Des, if you can kind of see me over the tops of the Saxons' heads here, but it's been a tough 3 weeks for Canada. You've played Ireland in Vancouver and then Wales in Toronto. Another tough test on Saturday for you.
I'd rather describe those games as highly competitive games, and we didn't win, but a lot of positive stuff came from those games. We have the greatest respect from our friends from Georgia. They're rated number 13 in the world, and we're rated number 15. So I think we'll have a very competitive game on Saturday. We came through our 2 tests, Ireland and Wales. We've had no major injuries. We'll have a new 3-person new personnel come in from the last test. And I guess we could describe our mood right now as cautiously optimistic.
Thanks, Des. And finally, Jeb, you guys have been living out of kit bags for the last 2 or 3 weeks. You've got another 3 weeks in the hotels. You all kind of one happy family or a few tiffs? Do you get on well?
Well, the last 2 games were in Canada, so a few of the boys were able to stay at home in the days leading up to the game. I think that helped a lot. This is coming into our 7th week as a whole team, because we all toured together back in November. We're just a really tight-knit group, and there doesn't seem to be any tiffs at all.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully everyone will get along fine. Thank you, everyone. If there's any questions from the floor, we can take them now, or we can go into one-on-ones, and the top tables and our distinguished guests will be available for interview afterwards. Please hang around, enjoy the sunshine, and thank you very much.